Obama, the good news is that Obama's corruption, which just went through every agency, State Department, the Department of Justice, the IRS, is now really being exposed. They had Mark Horowitz for the second day before Congress testifying about his report. He's the Inspector General, right? And he did the report on the Hillary Clinton email investigation. He's now working on a report on the Russia collusion investigation. Mark Meadows came out afterwards and said that the FBI seems to have, he believes that there's growing evidence that the FBI altered documentation of witness interviews in the Hillary Clinton and Russia probes. And CBS News says that Peter Strzok, the FBI agent and lover boy who was saying all this nasty stuff about Trump, he was escorted from the FBI amid disciplinary proceedings against him over anti-Trump text messages. So stuff is actually happening. The FBI is responding, even though they're stonewalling Congress. At the same time, they're also starting to clean up a little bit. I don't see how they can help it. Trey Gowdy, some of the stuff that happened with Horowitz was unbelievable. Trey Gowdy went after him about how they could question, how they could make decisions to let Hillary Clinton off the hook before they'd even interviewed her. Here he is.
Given the fact that you and I agree that actually talking to the witness, the suspect, the target might be, absent a contemporaneous recording, some of the better evidence on knowledge and intent, how in the hell was Jim Comey able to draft an exoneration press release 6 weeks before that interview took place?
I think it's clear from looking at what we uncovered that by that point in time, they had largely concluded what they had concluded. But
my question is, if what you're missing was knowledge and or intent, and the single best repository for that evidence is the person you've yet to talk to, how in the hell can you make that conclusion?
I think I'll give you what the answer was that we got back, which was, of course, we kept open the possibility that we would find some evidence that would change that view. That was the explanation we were given.
If that were true, did you find drafts of inculpatory press releases?
We did not.
See, now that's the past. I mean, this is good news that this is coming out, because now the full story of the Obama administration, its failure, all its corruption, the way it turned our government into a Chicago-style machine, is going to come out, and that's important. That is going to change people's minds. It's going to get to people. It takes time. I understand it's frustrating. The press is covering it up. The press is screaming about the border to keep it from getting out. It will get out. The truth will out in this case. And the important thing, that's Trey Gowdy covering the past. But the important thing, as I said, I think it was Monday, is what's going on now. Because when the DOJ turned over some of these emails, they left out this shocking email in which Peter Strzok, key investigator in both Hillary Clinton and the Russian collusion investigation and the Mueller investigation, until Mueller caught him and fired him, to Mueller's credit, he was saying that we are going to stop Trump from being president. And when they got those text messages, that was left out. And here's Jim Jordan questioning Horowitz about that, because that's what's happening right now.
What we have done as we found these texts is send them to the department for them to produce it to Congress. And that's what we did in May.
And who at the department, though?
We sent it to the Office of Deputy Attorney General, and
so Mr. Rosenstein,
in his office.
Mr. Rosenstein made a decision that instead of us seeing the most explosive text message between these two key agents who were on the Clinton team, the Russia team, and on the special counsel team, he made a decision to wait a month for us to see that text message.
I can't speak to whether anyone made a conscious decision. I would just say there was, in that fourth recovery that we made in May, there was 100,000 plus lines of text to go through. All of them we'd found before. This one was one we hadn't. We didn't see it or pick it up until June.
And did you not see it, or was it hidden from you? Because we have the text message right before it and the one that happened right after it, but somehow that one, the most explosive one, was missing from the pages that we got months ago.
So remember yesterday I was talking about the rule of law, that the rule of law is the machine that preserves your equality and your freedom, okay? And just look at how the left, everywhere they operate, is against the rule of law. They're against it at the border. They don't want there to be a border. They don't want people to be prosecuted for breaking the law at the border. They obviously just felt fine about using the FBI to skew elections, to dump Hillary Clinton's investigation. They felt fine about that. They feel fine about putting judges on courts who will not interpret the law but will make up law from the bench. They feel fine about it. The laws of America are getting in their way because the founders did not want what the left wants. The founders did not want what the left wants. They wanted a government at odds with itself. They wanted a government of enumerated powers. They wanted a government that was so busy fighting among itself that it left you free to do what you want and do what you could and live the life that you could live. And instead, the left has been carefully, since the turn of the last century, has been carefully building this administrative state that is accountable to nobody. It has been using our organizations to shut people down and shut your freedoms down. And it's being exposed. And this is a good thing. You know, you can say, well, Donald Trump has all these flaws, and you know that I believe he does, right? And but when I think of what would have happened if he had not been elected, I'm grateful. I'm grateful he's there. I'm sorry that, you know, we couldn't send a Ronald Reagan. I'm sorry that our culture can no longer, at least right now, produce another Ronald Reagan. But I'm glad we didn't get what we would have gotten if these clowns had been left in power, if Hillary Clinton had been left to cover this stuff up. It's good news that it's coming out.